Now you might think that I'm in the Wild West, but I can assure you I'm as far from that as I could be. I'm actually in the Wild East Midlands. Yeah, I'm in Leicestershire and I found this wonderful quarry, so why don't you come with me on this episode of Landscape Adventures and find out exactly where I am and what I'm up to. Look at the state of that weather. Alright, Croft Hill, here I come. The rain has stopped. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have in terms of sunlight, probably an hour and a half at most. I've managed to find somewhere to stop on an industrial estate. There's a little alleyway down here which appears to go towards Croft Hill, which is where I want to go. I did do a bit of research and I found a postcode of somewhere where apparently I could leave the car and walk, but I went down there and it was a private road, so I didn't want to leave the car there. So I've no idea how this is going to turn out, but let's see how this goes. And one of the things I'm learning about landscape photography is it's often as much about the things you forget as the things you remember to bring with you. So today, thankfully, I've remembered my wallies, only one wally here. Well, that's quite a nice location. Very swampy, quite dark, I like this. I'm going to carry on walking for a bit. But I've left my photography gloves in my other jacket. I was going to wear my Guy Walsh photography jacket today, but it's cold and wet and horrible and it's not waterproof. So that really serves me right for scrimping on that. So I've been walking around a while now, walking around Croft Village, and I keep walking down many dead ends. Aha, sign, public right of way. Here we go, hopefully back on track now. The thing is, next to the hill is a quarry, and so as long as I'm within sight of the quarry, which I am, 'cause it's quite big, I know I'm not far away. What did that say? Croft Glebe Woodland. Okay, let's see how this turns out. The rain's really annoying. It's not nice and atmospheric, it's just a drizzle, and there's these horrible white skies which are just bright rock white. No nice subtle mist that create atmosphere, just overpowering highlights. So Croft Glebe Woodland appears to be a field. Now admittedly there are some pretty sexy trees in here, but with the skies as they are and with the colours all subdued, there's just not a shot here. I'm going to go back and start circling the village again, or the quarry again, see if I can find a way back up. So I made it to the top of the hill. I'm now coming down. I'm sorry there's no footage because it was so wet and windy up there that I just, the shots I took, I didn't even have time to set on my tripod. I literally just had to grab my camera and almost do it street photography style. So I whacked up an ISO of 320 to give me plenty of leeway when it came to shutter shake. And yeah, hopefully I've got something interesting in those shots. You can probably see there's a big blotch of rain now on this camera. I got a lot of rain on my camera while I was up there, and I went to go and clean it, and you know what I was saying earlier about forgetting stuff? Turns out it doesn't look like I've packed my cleaning cloths, which is a real basic one for me, so I'm not quite sure how I've done that. I didn't have time really to search my bag properly though, so I'm hopeful I'm going to find some shelter down here. There's some shots I want to try and do down here, and I'm hopeful when I find a bit of shelter I'll be able to find the cloths in my bag and give this lens a bit of a wipe as well. Worst case scenario, there's stuff in my car, but then it means I can't take any more photos on the way, so that'd be a shame. But yeah, hopefully one or two of those shots will come out. I'll be very happy if I get one. It's very moody up there. There's quite an ambience with the mist and the sort of general miserableness of the day, and obviously with the quarry in the background, I don't know how much of that is going to have come out in the camera, but I guess we'll see when I get back. I just stopped to take a phone call, and I've been on the phone for the last 20 minutes, and I'm now in this sort of small bit of woodland here next to a quarry, and it's really nice, and the rain has actually backed off a little bit. Now you can probably see just through here there's a big red bit of the quarry, which is, it makes a really nice contrast with everything else that's going on, and I really like to take a photo of it. Now, I do have my telephoto lens in my bag, which is obviously clean. It's on my other camera as well, so I can use that. I just can't get the right angle on it here because there's so much clutter in the way. There's so many trees and what have you. And also there's not really a single point of interest in there, so I don't know how great it's going to be, but I really love the luminosity, the change in the light. The red is slightly glowing. I might just see if I can do something here before I carry on going. I might just wipe my camera with tissue. No, that's bad. I was about to say this is great, the wind subsided, and as I was about to open my mouth, a huge gust of wind came by, but we're fairly sheltered here, so hopefully you can hear me nice and clearly. I've found a nice little spot to get this quarry shot, and what I noticed was there's some really nice green and orange trees against the red backdrop. It looks very low contrast in the camera, but I'm pretty sure that if I get it back, boost the contrast, add a bit of dehaze, pump up the colours a little bit, we could have a really interesting image. I've also managed to do an image which I think tells a bit of a story. I'd really like it if there was a vehicle coming along. So what we've got is a track going along the quarry, and had we got a vehicle in there it would be perfect, but I think there's enough of a story in it for it to work as an image, but we'll see when we get back. If I get one out of this lot, the way today's gone, I'll be very happy. This is really exciting now. Look at this. Found another opening and it just looks so otherworldly. I'm in Leicestershire. And it looks like the flipping Wild West. This is awesome. Not only that, I did find the cloth in my bag. I knew it would be unlike me to come out without one. It was buried at the bottom. I knew if the rain stopped and I had a chance to get some shelter and find it, I would. I've given my lens a nice good clean now. So I've got the kit lens back on now, the telephoto's gone away, and let's see what we can do with this, because this is absolutely gorgeous and this is not what you expect to find in Leicester. Okay, so I haven't done this for a while, probably not since Series 1, but the light is in short supply and I've now got to get back to my car. I'm on the opposite side of the hill to where I came up, and I appear to be going up the hill. Now, it does sound like the main road is down there, so I can't be too far away, and I think there is a path through the woods if all else fails. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit anxious and nervous. Annoyingly, at the peak of the hill, surprise, surprise, were the best views, but it is getting dark. It's still a bit wet. The rain seems to be coming out again, so I'm just going to head back, I think. I took a couple of snapshots handheld at 6400 ISO or so, just as a reference really, but I'll probably come back here at another point. I know I say that pretty much every video. Maybe I'll do a series where I revisit all the places I said that I was going to revisit. Who knows? There might be an opportunity for a couple more shots on the way. If it's relatively dry and undercover, then if I can find a couple of the shots that I passed on the way up here, I might go back and try and get them. Now it's a bit darker and moodier. Otherwise, I'll see you back in the car. This is definitely the biggest cock-up I've made yet. I thought I knew where I was going. I'm actually 2 miles away from my car. I've had to put the high vis on. Particularly for this part of the road where there's no paths. I've now got a 2 mile walk back to my car in the dark on crunchy roads. Right, see you back at the car. No photos now. So I'm about halfway back, and the good news is there is a path that goes alongside the road, so I didn't have to walk on the road all the way, and the path also goes round the edge of the quarry, so in about another mile I'll be back in Croft and round the corner from my car. Also, keep forgetting, it's still quite early. What is it, 4:30, 5? I don't know, I've lost track of time. It's not murder o'clock anyway, is it? So everything's going to be fine. I'm going to have some water and I'll see you back at the car. Well, that was an adventure. I am absolutely drenched, and so's all my kit. I mean, I should probably have put my cover on my bag, but to be honest, I didn't want to stop any more times or any longer than I had to, and I've never actually used it yet, so I didn't want to have to try and figure out how to use it. Can I say as well, wellies are the best. I mean, I definitely made the right decision. If I was going to forget anything today, it was definitely the gloves that I didn't need. I mean, if I'd been there without those wellies, I'd have been absolutely knackered. Coming back, one of the biggest, I think, anxieties about coming back in the dark is that, well, you can't see what you're treading on. And because I've got wellies on, I was able to just plough ahead and not worry about that. It's such a simple thing, but these things make a big difference, because any kind of anxiety you have when you're working on something creative is going to have a negative impact. I hope I've had a couple of photos that are usable. I mean, if not, I'm not too bothered, because to be quite honest, like a lot of people, I'm having a bit of a crap time at the moment, and this today was really about getting out and forgetting my worries for a bit. So it's been quite nice just to be out, and there was a point where I reached the quarry and I was properly focused and zoomed in and zen-like on what I was doing, and that for me is what this is all about. So I really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, the heavens then opened shortly afterwards, but you can't have everything, and you know, getting back kept me focused as well. Anyway, I'm going to head back. As always, please like, comment and subscribe. Those things are so important. You really don't realise, and some people think that if you hit subscribe, right, I'm going to appear on your feed all day, every day. Now, what's going to happen is, once a week when these videos are released, it's going to pop up on your front page as a suggested video. That's all that's going to happen. You can ignore it if you don't want to watch it. I mean, I hope you want to watch it, but if you don't, you can just ignore it. Liking is brilliant because it just helps me with the algorithms. And of course, if you leave a comment as well, that's even better, especially if it's got an emoji in it, or I might be getting that confused with Instagram. Anyway, just leave me something. I really don't care what it is, good, bad or ugly. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this episode of Landscape Adventures, and I will see you again next week.